very interesting discovery that I made concerning what many of the ancients believed. Not just the ancient Jews, the ancient Israelites, but the Egyptians, Babylonians, all those ancient cultures. They really believed in the power and influence of demons, of beings that were most of the time invisible, but would periodically manifest themselves into different forms and shapes, and they would materialize, or their spirits would just possess other bodies, and not just animate bodies, but many different cultures and religious circles had different ways and means on how to deal with these entities known as demons and devils. They would do all kinds of weird traditional ceremonies in order to spook these spirits away, or try to control them, or use them for personal empowerment, kind of like witchcraft. But of course, the God of the Hebrews, especially under Jesus, used the powers of the Creator, the God, who to ward off these spirits. Not rituals and magic charms and sorcery or things like that, or voodoo, but they used the Holy Spirit, the power of God, to counteract these beings, to hold them in check and to restrain them, because some of these demons overwhelmed people's bodies, and they would beat themselves and cut themselves and roam around the streets and act crazy. And that's what these demons did in ancient times. They possessed people's bodies, causing them to do all kinds of very strange and unusual things. And sometimes it was kind of detrimental to the species, whether it be a human being or an animal. Even when they possessed animals. The most incredible thing that I remember reading about in one of the Gospels is when Jesus cast out that demon or those demons into the herd of swine. And you know what the swine did after these demons were allowed to enter these swine? They ran violently down off the land and jumped off a cliff into the water. And they all drowned. A whole herd of pigs. I don't know how many that was. I don't know if that was hundreds or thousands of them. But it so spooked the tribes, the inhabitants in that area, that they told Jesus and his disciples to get out of there, to leave their area. They were very much afraid. They'd never seen anything like it. A whole herd of pigs running down off a cliff and running into the water and drowning themselves. That wasn't under their own influence, under their own power. It was under another power of demons. These unforeseen or unseen spirits and entities. Apparently they really exist, and the only way that you can really be protected is if you have to be surrounded by angels, by God's angels, and you have to be surrounded by God's power. God can protect us from the influence of demons. Yeah, we need the protective power of God's intervention and his guidance. We need God's help to protect us from these demons. Do you have this protection yourself? It's very important to be protected from these things, because they can influence people to do very crazy stuff. So you need God's help to keep us on stable ground, to keep us from going astray and getting entrapped into all kinds of stuff that's not good for our person. We have to trust God and believe in God and pray to God and learn about God and petition God and pray to God. All these things help us in staying out of trouble.